All right. So, so, yeah, SVT has kind of guilt tripped me into starting a recording. Was just about to go to sleep, but yeah, SVT uploaded his video and then basically called me out. He didn't name me, but yeah, basically called me out. But yeah, I checked out the SVT's recording and it seemed like everyone really liked the workshop that I did a couple things back. And as of right now, I'm not really too interested in creating more PowerPoint slides to sort of do another full proper workshop. So, but it looks like a lot of people, especially with the league starting now, the Australian league starting now and things, a lot of people look like they're sort of really keen to learn and improve. So I thought, well, if I'm not going to be doing more workshops, I thought something similar to what SVT is doing, where I sort of go over the games that I've played and trying to go over my thought process and my thinking and what I am doing, and then maybe people can sort of pick up a couple of things from here. And I thought that that might be a pretty useful resource as well. So here we are. We're going to be starting a series over here of all my league games, at least, where I sort of go over and try to discuss some things, discuss what I'm thinking and why I discard certain things. Uh, and that's sort of a new series that I will be doing, I guess. So we have our everyone's favorite snake, Naga, over here. So we're gonna have Naga on the side over here that we can sort of reference. So that's gonna be on the side as well. But yeah, well, let's get started. I tried scripting this video. I tried making a script for this video, but I basically realized really quick that that I'm gonna be pretty much non-stop talking about things anyways, and it's gonna be hard to come up make a script for these kind of videos anyway. So these are all going to be pretty much on the spot live. Unfortunately, right now I do have a bit of a cough, so there might be a couple of times where I mute briefly to cough, or I try to mute as quickly as I can. But yeah, yeah, so just like that, a quick cough. Yeah, let's get started. I will make a quick disclaimer right at the start that my Mahjong playstyle is very aggressive. Probably, I've been cutting it back slightly these days, but probably still quite on the extreme end of aggression. So a lot of things I do may not work out for you. So that is a quick disclaimer that I do have to say, otherwise Cheese will get mad at me. So nothing I do or I say is a correct answer, so to speak. There's no correct answers in Mahjong, but I'm just here to provide my own commentary and sort of why I do the things I do. So, alright, let's get started. So obviously we're going to be cutting Yakuhai over here. We're looking out for 5 blocks. We noticed that 5, so is Dora over here. So we do want to lock this into our Rammen, but we're not going to do that immediately, obviously, because as we draw, we currently don't have a head, so 4-so head can be used. And then if you draw something like 6-so, for example, then we can just draw user as a 4-7-so Rammen. So we don't need to rush to lock Dora, not at least until we get rid of all these Yakuhai over here. So we cut Yakuhai, cut Yakuhai, cut Yakuhai. And then now we look at our hand over here. And then we sort of, this is what I was going to talk about in my second lecture, which is 5-block theory. But we're going to look at our blocks of what we have currently. We have 1 block, 2 block, 3 blocks, 4 block, 5 blocks, 6 blocks over here, right? So you actually have more than we need. So now we sort of have freedom to mold this hand into anything that we want because we have more than 5 blocks. So at this point, we got a couple options. The immediate standout would be this 9-pin. The immediate standout would be this 9-pin because, you know, it's the isolated tile. It's not part of the 567 and whatnot. But the benefit of keeping this 9-pin would be that if you manage to draw 1-pin, 4-pin, or 8-pin, as I was saying, 1-pin, 4-pin, or 8-pin, we do have an Itsu opportunity that we're going to do. So there is some consideration that you can keep the 9-pin for possible Itsu opportunities later, and then cut something like 2-4-man early on. But right now it's East 1. What I like to do in East 1 is I like to try to win hands as quickly as possible. So right now I'm thinking, okay, yes, I can keep 9-pin and I can cut 2-4-pin. And I think if you look at maybe Naga or something, maybe, okay, Naga's saying pretty much 9-pin is the only discard. I disagree a little. I think maybe something like 2-4-man might be in consideration if you want to try to build the Sanmenzen and then try to get a big lead early on. Mangan with like Pinfu Itsu with Dora 1 would be a pretty good hand to start out with, and you're not losing too big of a loss because, again, as I mentioned, we have 6 blocks. Although the 5-7 so block is weak, we do have 6 blocks, which means that cutting a block of a 3-man acceptance to try to get higher value is not the worst thing to do in the world. However, I like to play fast, I like to play aggressive, and I like to sort of take the initiative and keep a proactive attitude to the game instead of sitting down on my ass and doing nothing. So I'm just thinking, hey, let's go, let's build the Tanyao hand, let's call quick. This 5-7 so block is weak, so I like to call on the 6 so. I'm even, you know, calling 6 so. I want to keep this 2-4-man block, and then later on there's possible 2-3-4 SSK on the bottom side as well possible. So I'm happy to call on cut 6-pin and see how the hand progresses from here. Probably the best discard, regardless of whether or not you are a Menzen player or an aggressive player, but yeah, that is what I do. And then Kamicharichis, obviously, this is just a pretty straightforward fold. So yeah, we'll just be folding from here, as you can see. Cut 7-man. I did push, I believe this tile over here is a push. This ton is a push, but that's probably a mistake. I should be playing 7-man over there, I think, and just full folding against Dealerichi. So a quick tip, how to sort of, you see this ton over here, but maybe you're unsure. Maybe you're unsure if it came before the discard or after the discard. Quick trick to know is that since it's dealer over here, right? Since this guy's dealer, he's always going to have +1 tile over everyone else. As you can see, as he's cutting it, he's going to have 7 tiles in his discard pool, and we're going to have 6, which means all the tiles, basically his tiles, his first tile matches with my first tile, which matches with his first tile, and matches with this guy's first tile. So we can see that the 5th tile is a Ricci decoration tile, which means that it matches with this, and this tile. So the ton came out right before the Ricci. If Wildstar was waiting for the ton, she probably would have on this ton over here. But at this point, our hand is a little bit too far away. We don't even need to risk this ton later on. We can use the ton as a folding tile later on anyways. Just 7-man here would have been better, I think. But the rest of this hand is just me folding, I believe. Nothing much going on. There is something interesting that happens a little bit towards the end. I believe this 8-man is actually a push as well. The rest of these tiles are Genbetsu, if you noticed. But I draw this 2-so over here, and what this 2-so enables me to do is I keep this 4-5-6, and I see a 2-3-4-4 shape. over here left over, which means that I can actually, and the 7 pin just passed over here, which means if I cut 7 pin into 5 pin later on, if I can push 5 pin later on, then I can safely get into test K10, and even if I don't push 5 pin, there's a chance I can chi 4 pin and cut 2 pin instead of 5 pin, which 2 pin is Genbetsu over here. So you can see 2 pin is guaranteed safe. So I can cut 2 pin, chi 4 pin, and then have 4 so head 2 5 so to get to K10, as long as I can push this 8 man. So 8 man is Suji, and I think I saw 4 9 mans dead if I remember correctly, or maybe it was 3. I see 1, 2, 3, so I think it's 3 9 mans. Oh, 4th 9 man is over here, yeah. Excuse me. So I see 4 9 mans, Suji, which means that 8 man deals into Tankyo Champon only. 8 man is a completely live tile, so it's not like it's completely impossible that it deals in. But I did want to leave the opportunity of keeping the 7 pin so that I can chi 6 pin back. I can chi 6 pin back, cut 2 pin, cut 3 pin, which is Suji, and then get to 10k10 that way as well. And you can see I draw 3 pin, and then I draw a discard 7 pin, I think. I'm not actually sure if that's correct. So yeah, as you can see, Naga strongly prefers just cutting 7 pin and not going for this 8 man push. I line up quite a lot closer with Kagashi's play, and Kagashi doesn't think 8 man is too bad. Yeah, I think 2 pin is better here. I just thought to myself that I play 7 pin in the game, but I think 2 pin is better to get to K10 here. But yeah, 7 pin, and then 2 pin because we're not chancing. We're not at this point. Yeah, maybe the 5 pin is going to be come out, and then we can push 5 pin, but that is a lot less likely than me just keeping Haku here. So we cut 2 pin, and then we did get the K10 opportunity here of this one. So exactly as I said, we're back to Ishan 10, and then once we chi this, and then we cut Haku, which is guaranteed safe. And here's Tenpai. We do get Tenpai over here on the 3 pin. And there is... so we can actually on 3 pin, cut 5 pin, and then we would be in Tenpai over here. However, notice that we are in dealer seat at the first. We are in dealer seat. Sorry, we're fighting against a dealer Richi, and then the 5-8 pin Suji line is not cleared, so this 5 pin isn't actually completely safe at the moment. I think if this was something, if this was my ranked game, for example, I think this would be a close call. But at the current league setting that I'm playing, dealing into a dealer Mangan or something at the start is going to be pretty devastating, because so the difference is that the rule set is we're not playing for 4th avoidance, we're playing for first, we're playing for ranking over here, right? And the difference that makes to ranked rule set where you're playing 4th avoidance compared to this rule set is that because you're trying to get firsts and seconds, you do not want to deal in, because that push a single deal in, as long as you have a buddy later on, a single deal in, there's still a chance that you can recover to 3rd. But after a big 12k deal in, your chances of getting 1st and 2nd reduces dramatically. So in this kind of league setting, I'm not sure if a 5 pin push here is actually all that great against a dealer, at least. And then even more so, I think part of the sort of reasoning that I had in the back of my mind was that because I think at this, with the current opponents that I am playing, I do feel that I can probably wait for better opportunities to come. This 1.5k that I'm going to get over here in the grand scheme of things is not going to be as detrimental when I know that there's going to be... So a missed 1.5k is it's not actually that small, and I will maybe possibly talk about the value of K10 a bit later on, being Tenpai at the end, the value of that. So it's not a small value, but again, it's not like a very big loss either. It's like somewhere in between. And I think that this missed opportunity that I get over here, I am fine because I think there's going to be better opportunities to come later on that I can take, and I don't need to risk it at the moment. So I skip this 3-pin pawn because I want to basically chi 3-6 man, or I want to chi 3-6 man or chi 4-pin to get to 10 Tenpai safely by cutting 3-pin, but unfortunately that didn't come, so no 10 at the end. Alright. Again, we're cutting Yakuhai, note that 3-pin is Dora. And then I believe we have, well, that's not really an interesting decision to make. I think this one so is a little bit interesting over here. So obviously the widest shape, we're at Ishan 10, the widest shape is this 4 so. However, again, same thing, league setting, normally we would be cutting 4 man over here, but in league setting, we want to try to dig for a little bit of a higher value hand. So cutting this one, so really confirming the Dora over here, and then this also leaves us the potential to cut 1-pin later on. Let's assume for a second that I draw the 4-man, then I can cut 1-pin, and I can change to Tanya as well. So leaves us with a lot higher value for a single 2-so loss. So I think that's not the worst option. You can see what Naga says about that. I believe, yeah, Naga is going to probably scream at me for not cutting 4-man over here. But again, a little bit of a different rule set. And I think the 1-so is a viable discard over here. And here we draw 9-man. And again, in a ranked game setting, I believe just Sumagiri 9-man is probably the best discard. However, I take a little bit of an unusual line over here by cutting 4-pin. And the reason being is that because 3-pin is Dora, I don't actually want to be Hanchan waiting on 3-pin, which is where this hand is sort of taking me. So I thought, well, I'm going to try to maximize my chances. I'm going to draw another head on the 6-9 man over here. I'm going to try and draw another head on the Manzu. And then I can actually just cut 2-pin into Shampon. Shampon waiting on outside of Pinzu. And then when I draw the 3-man backfire, I can do a slide with the 6-pin to keep the Dora in my hand. So that's the line of thought that I took. So now we're just cutting. Again, exactly what happened. I did draw the Manzu on the other side. I did draw the head, so I have a 4-6-6 man shape over here for a perfect Ishan 10. And I'm willing to do a 6-pin slide the moment 3-man comes out. However, I see this 1-pin. Oh, okay, I draw Tenpai. I did see this 1-pin, so I do note that at this point, the 1-pins are all dead, which means that if I do take the Shampon, I'll be waiting on 2 more 6-mans, which isn't great. So I'd be happier waiting on 5-man over here. And you do want to be thinking about these kind of things early. I think the biggest beginner mistake is they're so preoccupied with their own hand that they don't look up too often. But you really shouldn't be looking at your own hand. What you do is you plan what you are going to do and what's happening on the board. You pay attention to what's happening on the board when it's not your turn, and you already are thinking about what you're going to do next and what you're planning to do. I see this 1-pin and I immediately think, okay, well, if I draw anything else on the Manzu, I will take that weight, and I'm not taking the Shampon weight, and that's already drilled into my mind before my turn comes. So instead of 6-man, let's assume, okay, I didn't get an undraw, but let's assume I drew like a 1-so. In this sort of, yeah, okay, let's assume that I draw, let's assume I draw a Shah when I had this shape over here. I know, okay, well, the draws that I'm currently waiting on and I'm currently looking to upgrade are either the 6-0 over here, the 6-0, or I have a 3-man draw, or I have a 5-man draw for Tenpai, or I have a 7-man draw for Round Mail on this side. And then, if I do draw the 4-0, I already know that 2 1-pins are dead, so I'm not taking the Champon. So I'd be cutting 9-man Ricci without thinking, and all of that is already pre-thought of in my mind. So when I do draw a tile, the only thing I need to be thinking about is not anything else, but how does this tile change the shape of my hand? And if it doesn't, then that's a very easy Sumagiri. So once those are all sort of planned out before your turn even comes, then you start having more mental capacity because you've already pre-thought a lot of things. You free up that mental capacity to be thinking about other things, such as, you know, why does this 2-man come out from Shimocha's hand? Was this 2-man a Tadashi or a Sumagiri? And you start being able to think about a lot more things within your game over, and that's sort of how you improve. Basically, you start planning more things into your mind, and then you free up that mental capacity to be working on something else. In my case, admittedly, I watch way too much YouTube while I'm playing Mahjong. And I was a bit distracted on these League games as well, admittedly, but I'll try not to do that in the future now that I'm doing the series, but we will have to work with what we got. Okay, so 2 Hatsus are out, so I know my next discard is going to be Hatsu. 2 Chuns are out, so I know before I even draw this that the next discard is going to be my Chun. The only thing I'm thinking about at this stage is not whether or not this 9-pin changes the plan of me discarding Chun. And I think I would discard the 9-pin here because, yeah, I mean, the 9-pin contributes to a 789 SSK, but I'd rather try to get the 678 when I draw the 8-pin. And once I do draw the 8-pin, 9-pin has no use. Meanwhile, I can use this as a save tile anytime. So yeah, normal efficiency stuff over here, nothing too big. I am at Ishan 10 waiting on 3-so and 3-pin 8-so, however it's all bad shape, so I'm trying to improve with the 6-pin. You really do not want to be... Well, okay, I guess you get an extra... If you cut 6-pin over here, you get an extra 7-so acceptance, but at the moment right now, so one thing you really don't want to be doing while playing Mahjong is, and this is what I really discourage people from doing, you do not want to be working towards a Ricci Nomi hand. You want to build a game plan, and the main game plan needs to not be, I will Ricci a Ricci Nomi bad weight. So what does Ricci Nomi mean? It means Ricci only. So I don't want to be doing a Ricci with a 1k bad weight. That's just like a terrible idea. And there's very good chance that there is some other idea out there that you can do that doesn't involve you winning a Ricci only hand. Okay, so in this case, it would be to draw around the 6-pin and try to get a 678 SSK. So Sanchoku, sorry. I will be using shortened forms and Japanese forms in this because this is aimed at a little bit more of a higher level, advanced level. So please bear with me there. Okay, another cough, and we do draw the 3-man. 3-man is Dora. So I believe I'm probably going to be cutting 2-pin over here because as I said, 3-pin over here because as I said, Ricci Nomi, not really a thing that I want to be going for. If I do draw the 3-so, then I'm really absolutely happy to just slam with Ricci Pinfu on a 2 5-pin weight. However, if I do draw 2 5-pin or even a 3-so first, then I will be Tenpai waiting on 3-so on a Ricci Nomi, on a Ricci only hand. 1k hand, bad weight, 1,300 I guess, because it's a bad weight. Really not the game plan that I want to be going for, and I really discourage anyone else to try to go for that game plan either, so 3-pin cut here seems to make sense. 8 so over here, again, I really do want to keep... So, okay. So this, I think I talked about in my day 1 lecture. This is a Kutsuki Ishan 10 or a headless... This is either a headless Anko or a Kutsuki Ishan 10. Well, no, it's not Kutsuki, it's a headless Anko. So it's a headless Anko Ishan 10 if I cut 3-mon. But again, I'm going to be repeating this a lot, but Richinomi I don't really want to be going for. So I want to at least get a good weight or dig some value over here. If I cut 3-mon, what I'm going to be getting is if I can actually cut 3-mon over here, and then if I do draw 2 5-pin, then I have a 1 so weight. Or if I do draw, well, yeah, I have a 1 so weight at least, which is a little bit better weight. 3 1 so is dense. So another option that I can actually be going for is a 3-mon Tunky weight. So yes, I lose a little bit of efficiency. I lose like 3 copies of 3-mon acceptance. Versus, let's see, what's my outs? I have 2-5. I have a 2 5-pin, or 2 3 4 so, and a 7 so over here. And then I'll be losing the 3 so acceptance. So out of like those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tiles of acceptance, I'll be losing 1 of them. So without looking at the actual live outs in the discard pool, in which I would have already had that calculated, again, you want to be calculating and looking at things before your turn actually comes, so that you have the mental capacity to be thinking about these things when your turn comes. I already know how many 3 those are out on the wall. I already know how many 2 5-pins I have. I already know how many 7-pins I have, and all of this is in my brain already, and I don't need to look at it when the time comes, because that information is already processed, right? But so I'll be losing a couple outs in that regard. So maybe I'm losing like 1/5 or 1/6 of my outs. I'm losing 1/6 of my outs or so. But I'm getting quadruple the value if I 3-mon Tunky, right? I'm going from a Richinomi to 1,300 to Richidora 2. So every Han, if you didn't know, every Han from 1 Han to 4 Han doubles your hand value. So if I pick up 2 more Dora, that'll be Dora Dora. So I'll be quadrupling my hand times 2 times 2. So I'm losing 1/5 of my weight for 4 times the value. So that's the sort of line that I take. So if you see what Naga has to say about the 2-so drop, it's pretty much 100 to 0. Yes, it's not the widest weight. Yes, I get a lot wider weight if I cut 3-mon. But you do not want to be cutting 3-mon in this scenario. So now I see this 5-man pawn. Right? I see that 5-man pawn, and I think that's interesting for 2 reasons. One, that's 3 5-mans that is accounted for, which means there's only 1 copy of 3 6-man weight that is possible. But 2, I actually look at the 5-man pawn, and I think that 3-man is pretty much dead in this scenario. Because Shimocha has cut 5-man, which means there's likely Shimocha has at least like a 3-man shape out there that she can accept. It could just straight up be the 3 6-man weight, but more likely she has like a Mensu with 3-man enabled, 3 4 5 for example, which cut the 5-man. And the fact that SPT over here on 5-man, right? Well, he cut 8 so after 5 months, so he wouldn't be cutting 8 so. He wouldn't be potting 5-man if he had like a 3-3-5-5 or anything else. And if a 5-man was head, he wouldn't really be cutting the 5-man head because he wants to keep a shape around the Dora. If you had a 4-4-5-5 shape, you wouldn't, or you also wouldn't really be loving a 5-man pawn because you miss the Dora acceptance. So to me, that feels like SPT has a Dora, Tartini over here has a Dora, and obviously I can't see what Wildstar has, but no information on Manzu. So to me, the Dora already looks dead. So I will keep the information on the back of my mind. as I keep moving forward over here. And at this point, I'm probably likely just to fold after this chi. Again, I think Dora is dead. I think 4-7 so is pretty bad weight. And, well, 2-5 pin looks alright, but 4-7 pin, 4-7 so looks dead, 3-man looks dead. I can't cut 3-man anymore because I know at least Tartini over here has a shape around 3-man. I'm not sure about SPT, but he either has his 3-man filled, or there's a shape, one more shape around the farm Manzu over there, and there's zero information on Master. I have no idea what Master is doing. Like, you can't read much information from here. Maybe like a 4-7 pin weight, and that's about it. But again, that's a very weak read at best, so not much to go off of. 3-man just looks ridiculously dangerous. I can't cut 3-man, nor can I win off the 3-man. I'm already thinking about folding after the second chi. My hand is too far away. Alright, so we keep going over here. And then nothing really all too interesting this hand. Yeah, we just managed to draw the Pinfu hand, the classic Pinfu hand. And we reach it. I'm probably going to get sick of trying to mute myself every time I'm trying to cough, so... Progressively, you'll be hearing more and more coughs in the recording, and I'm sorry about that. Man, SPT finishes game 1 in 30 minutes, so I thought this wouldn't take as long, but here we are, 30 minutes into the recording, and... yeah, we're still on E3. Very fun. Alright, this 2-pin... 2-pin... what do I think about this 2-pin? I think... right, so why did I cut 2-pin? Why didn't I cut 1-so? That's a great question. Why didn't I cut 1-so? I think it should have been 1-so though. I think that's terrible, pretty much. I think that, yeah, that's pretty much just me being extremely distracted. 1-so is pretty much almost definitely a cut. As I said, I was a little bit distracted playing this game. I get a little bit less distracted in game 2, especially the later half of game 2. I'm pretty much fully focused there. But game 1 was a little bit of a mess, and I'm sorry about that. So yeah, this 1-so is doing nothing for my hand, which is terrible. Here, right, and this is an interesting thing. I see this chi over here on this 2-3-man, and I see the 6-0 come out, and that immediately makes me be very Amanzu. I'm not saying it's Honitsu yet, I can't confirm that exactly for sure, certain, but this is already starting to look like it could be a Honitsu hand. So I'm already looking out for that. I'm trying to think, what can I do to get rid of my Manzu shapes, and what can I do to trim down and get this hand to a winnable shape? The thing about Honitsu hand is that all the other suits are going to come out, so if you can build a callable hand that involves the non-Honitsu, the non-suit, the suit that they're not going for, then that is awesome, and that's sort of the game plan over here. Whoever I draw this 8-man over here, and there's like 2 options over here. I mean, 1-so over here is a little bit too bad, so I think 1-so here is pretty much no-brainer. But the moment I draw this 4-so, I'm left with a few options. I got a little bit more information now with the 6-so, 6-so, 7-so cut. This either means that the Sozu is completely filled and she already completed her Sozu block, or this is pretty much dissecting his whole Sozu suit. So the Honitsu is looking even more and more likely, right? So at this point, I can either think of 2 things. I will either trim 5-man. I trim 5-man and then try to trim down my Soju shape, get the Dora 2, and then try to build somewhere else. I can pawn 8-man, pawn 2-so, pawn 4-so, and try to get back to Tenpai. So that's one option that I can do right now. But I think an easier option for me is, because this hand already is Chitoi Dora Dora, I think what I can do is sort of take a option that keeps that in mind. I still have a 5-man discard within me, but I cut 8-so first, keep the Chitoi Ishanten, and then if I can match Tenpai on Dora, that would be great. And then I'd have like Chitoi Dora 3, and then I find something else to reach on, and then that'll be a Haneman. But I cut 8-so thinking that, but I also know that this 4-man shape is really dangerous, so I believe the plan is this 4-so comes out, and I already mentioned to you that if you can call on a shape outside of the suit that they're building on, that is extremely great because they're going to be cutting a whole bunch of tiles. So I think I'm probably pawning this 4-so and cutting 5-man. Because after the pawning 4-so, cutting 5, I don't know, maybe maybe I don't, because 8-man pawn is also a very hard pawn to go for. I think actually middle Pinsy looks pretty bad as well. So yeah, as those kind of thoughts are all going through my mind. 9-so is not particularly dangerous. I think a call here is something that I would consider. But given the point situation right now, I store it too. I think I pawn. I don't pawn. I think pawn is pretty viable over here. I think Naga actually wants to pawn. Yeah, so you can see, okay, this is the difference between Kagashi and Nishiki. Nishiki plays a more balanced playstyle, and I would also say that Nishiki is probably the more recommended playstyle for most human players. But keeping Chitoi Doradora shaped Tenpai over here is probably the more natural line to go for. But as I mentioned, I don't believe in my Manzi shape. I think 2-so looks great, so I don't actually need a man acceptance. I just pawn 4-so, and then I wait on 2-so, and then I could chi 6-pin off my Kamicha here very easily. I can pawn 6-pin off my Kamicha here very easily, and then I'll be waiting on 3-6-man, in which is hard to come out from Kamicha, obviously, and it's hard to come out from other people as well, because of the Honitsu over here. But you can always try to snipe the overflow, and if you do get into a 1v1 situation with a Honitsu, you'll be much there's be a lot less stress in your mind, knowing that you're eating 2 of the outs anyways, which means you have 2 less tiles that you can deal in on with the Honitsu. So a very aggressive line would be to pawn the 4-so, and I think looking back at it now, I do think 4-so pawn is what I like to do more, as I've just said. But keeping Dama and trying to get the Chitoi Tenpai is also fine to do. And then Shimocha Richi, so, you know, we're folding. And then Tomen Richi, so we're doubly folding. What do we fold with is the real question. What do we fold with? Right, I think, yeah, so 6-pin. If you think 3-pin is safe because of 6-pin Suji, it's not, because Tomen Richi right after. I see 8-so, 8-so, 8-so. 1 chance is not the greatest thing you'd believe in. And honestly, after the 5-so into the 8-so Tadashi, a 6-9-so wait is incredibly likely. But so maybe I should have played 2-so if I really think that 6-9-so would deal in. I will get rid of the deal in tiles over here, but if I really do think that 6-9-so is going to deal in, maybe I play 2-so. But I think 9-so, 9-so here is best, because there's also another 9-so left in the wall, so that's one less Tunky tile that you have to be wary about. It is rough though. Maybe 2-so is better. 2-so is not even in consideration, apparently. But yeah, I'm not sure. Anyways, pretty obvious Honitsu hand over here. Well, not obvious. We're not hard tunnel visioning for Honitsu yet. We do need to draw another Sozu. But I think at this stage, Hatsucut, 5-pin is all. No, not 5-pin, but 3-man is also alright. So yeah, here is another sort of interesting call. I see this, again, it's the exact same feeling of like, hey, 3-man pawn this early is pretty unorthodox, and this guy butchered, well, he cut Sozu first into butchering his Pinzu, Like, he completely dissected his Pinzu shape. I don't see, and also my Kamicha is also, I can't see any Manzu in Kamicha's discard either. It does not look like Manzu is any good, even though it is a 6/9 man weight. So I'm thinking, well, I have two different Yakuhai and a Yakuhai pair, and I did draw the Sozu just now, which means that if I pawn Haku, then I have a head to work with. Or even if I do pawn Haku, I have a head on the 8-man side, and I can later on, if I draw another pair of these Yakuhai, then I can cut 8-man into Honitsu, and if not, I still have enough blocks that I can fold around. Sorry, not fold around, but I still have enough blocks to play on the game, draw something around the 6-0, and then even if it's not Honitsu, I still have that 1k hand that I can work towards. So with all those thoughts in mind, I do cut the 7-1 over here. Yep, so this is a very aggressive line, 7-so chi into pretty much confirming my Honitsu over here, maximizing my Sozu blocks. Again, by the time the second pawn comes out, right? By the time the second pawn comes out, and then another fucking 8-so, 8-so, 4-so, 4-pin. When I see this, I'm already pretty much thinking this guy's Honitsu, I'm trimming all my Mansu. So the 7-so chi into 8-man is a very natural discard order. Okay, so Chun, obviously. And now I'm thinking that Hatsu was once cut, but Haku is alive, so I'm already thinking that Shimocha is probably Tenpai on Haku, especially after the late Chun's discard. So I'm pretty brave of cutting a Hatsu. I'm not sure why I thought Hatsu was safe. Really wasn't. And then again, I do think I already read that Shimocha is Honitsu. 2-man is pretty hard to use from Shimocha because it's 3-man and 4-man pawn. And 2-man is already in this card over here, so it's not live, but I'm not really willing to risk it, especially against the dealer, especially when I'm not Tenpai yet. So yeah, I draw a pay, and then well, it's my last sumo, so I just give up, no 10. So it was exactly a 2-man Haku weight, apparently, but that is a little bit lucky. Okay, so normally south. Nothing really. Ooh, this Sha. Okay, this Sha pawn again was a very interesting line for me. I think this might be even something that Kagashi says, what the fuck are you doing? Yep. So Sha pawn is a very different line. Usually you do want to be waiting for your Rankans to fill up. But here I'm thinking, because I already have a Yakuhai in my pond, as something I pawned, I'm actually fine with confirming Dora over here. Pawn this, confirm Dora, and I can fill up 2 Sozu with a 3-so chi or a 5-so chi, and then cut 6-man for an 8-man Tanki. And right now it does feel as if the 8-man does look fairly alive in this scenario, so that's the line I chose to take. Again, I'm even sort of foregoing a good 4-7 pin weight in preference of the 8-pin, 8-man. I do think that the 8-man is alive at the stage. But yes, nothing really came out to be. Chiso. Yep, so Haku needs to be pawned, and then obviously when the 5-so 4-man goes out, 4-man is next to Dora, so the 5-so needs to go out. And then from here, it's another situation of like, hey, Toyman Richied, do I push or do I fold? And here the answer is something similar to the first Richi by Wildstar over here, in that Yeah, I can push Chun once cut. I mean, Chun's completely Genbetsu actually. So I can cut Chun over here, and then later I can try to Chi 4-pin, 7-pin, try to get to Tenpai, and then cut 4-man. But the issue is I will have to cut 4-man, and that's right next to Dora Soba, right? Right next to Dora. So cutting 1-man early with a 1-3-5-man shape is not unheard of. So yeah, it's whether or not I do want to push a 4-man into a Ricci but from Toyman. But again, with this kind of situation, it's more like if I don't have Honitsu over here, then this hand is going to be 1k, and in this current at this current table, I do feel that I'm going to get better opportunities later on that I can capitalize on. So yeah, I'm gonna, even though this is expected value wise, this is a negative EV play, I do end up cutting 8 mana and full Betauriing over full Betauri to try to find a better fight that I can take. Because in the end, even if you have like a Sun Menchan, there's a world where you where someone dealer chases you, your Sun Menchan, and then like you get Ipatsu Rond on a Kanchan. Like, you know, everyone sort of tilts over that as well, right? So in Ricci Mahjong, nothing is completely definite, and even though there's like a small plus EV play that I can make, I'm fine missing out on those smaller EV plays, because I know that I'm gonna get more, even better opportunities later on, than usual, because I think that I am able to sort of play at a higher level of play than the players I'm playing against at the moment. So I'm confident in my abilities, that I can outplay these people in the long run. So I'm playing it a little bit more safe now so that I can capitalize on those opportunities that come later on. Full Betari until something happens where I Chi 2-pin. I probably have some K10 chance or something. Yeah, so I'm after the 2-pin chance Chi. I didn't push anything dangerous, but after this 2-pin Chi, I'm on a Kutsuki Shanten, waiting on 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mon, and a 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pin with 8 so, right? And then possibly in the future, I'm willing to push 4 mon or even the 5 pin. Probably not even the 4 mon, but the 5 pin is now, what's the word now? Naksuji, because 2 pin has been cut and 8 pin has been cut. So I'm probably willing to cut 2 pin and nothing else. 4 mon is cut actually. That's a pretty risky move, really. I don't know why I cut 4 mon actually. Probably had more live outs, but I ended up folding on 3 mon. It looks like 3 mon's Musuji. Until I draw back 2 pin, and then 3 mon was cut over here. That's pretty funny. And I managed to get to Tenpai at the end. And then it didn't matter. Okay. Alright, moving on. Again, very standard hand. The only thing maybe not standard that I'll do... Okay, well... I managed to draw 7 so, but I would have, like... I would have locked in the 6 so. I would have cut 6 so early to lock enough on the Aka 5 so a bit later on, anyways. I do take this 4 so Chi. You'll have to remind me why I did that. That looks terrible. That honestly kinda looks terrible, to be honest. Yeah, like a 0 EV play. I don't know why I Chi 4 so. I guess I was wary about Manzu. That's really the only explanation that this gives. But I don't see any indication on why anything would be Manzu over here, so I think that G is horrible. So Tenpai, waiting on 2k. and then I get the 2k. Uh, that's an interesting chi as well. I had a game plan for this. I do remember this hand where I thought a long time for this chi, 2-mon, and I really wish I kept the notes of when I actually went through this log like 2 days ago. What was the game plan when I cheated? I can't remember. I don't think this is a good chi. So I'm looking at blocks 1, 2, 3 blocks over here, and I have 4 blocks on the 6/8. So why would I feel the need to ditch my... Oh, hold on. 1, 2, 3. I don't know. I don't think it's a good chi at all. I think this is a pretty trolling chi, honestly. But I'm probably going to swap to Tanya right about here, yeah. So I think we reach Tenpai right here. So yeah, we take the Akka weight, obviously, if you can. And then we take this chi to upgrade the weight to a 4/7. So 4/7 man, 4/7 man, 4 man is all dead, and there's 1/7 man, so it's a 3 tile weight versus a 3 tile weight, but this has more ways to upgrade, I think. It doesn't, actually, so why did I take this chi? 6 man, 3 6 man, 4/7 man. Yeah, no, it does look like middle Pinzu is like, I don't have any pin information on middle Pinzu, yeah? I see no Pinzu on here, I see only a singular 6-pin over here, 9-pin over here, and then the 1 3-pin Tadashi information here is the information that he does have a middle Pinzu shape, so 5-man is bad against SBT. So all this leads me to believe that even a three-way 4/7 weight is a better weight than a 3-tile 5-pin weight. Oh, it's actually a 2-tile weight. And I think I draw 3-man at some point. I did draw back the 5-pin, unfortunately, but I draw back the 3-man, and here I'm gonna change the weight to the 3-man because right after the 6-man comes out, in this singular cycle, there's a very high chance that the 6-man comes out as well following this discard. But unfortunately, we did not get that. Okay, let's see. This looks pretty standard Ishan 10 to me. Perfect Ishan 10 over here. Waiting on... Oh, so this shape is a really important shape. A lot of people get the shape wrong. So a lot of people see this 2/4 so can't... Oh, right, this is a little bit of a different shape. Okay, a little bit of a different shape. I missaw something, my bad, but yep, so we're just trying to get Tenpai. We don't get Tenpai. We do push a 2-so here. I don't really know why I pushed 2-so here. This looks like 8-man is a lot safer, even if I didn't want to push. 2-pin is safe. 9-so is Suji. Haku's Genbetsu. And then 7-man over here. And I cut 2-man? Why? 2-man is Genbetsu, that's why. So we have a Hanchan now. Okay, Tondora, pays all dead. Sorry, South, like, Tondora indicator. This one was an interesting hand. I do remember this one. So this... Okay, well, the 1-pin discard isn't all that interesting, I think. But I think somewhere around about... Or maybe nothing interesting happened. This was interesting in that I got nowhere and I got, like, all the 9-pins was dying and I was really sad or something. You can't really cut 6-0 into here, so this is pretty much a fold. Pretty easy Tanyao hand, I think. Nothing really too much to explain. Shimocha really ran away with this game, so it is a little bit of a little bit of a frustrating game for all of us over here. So SBT ended up dealing into this 18k, and that gave us an opportunity to improve our placement. Again, another very straightforward hand, I believe. Don't see any reason why this shouldn't be a Honitsu. Oh, right. So we ended up tempying right here. We ended up tempying right here for a 5-8-0-8, but this is a 5-8-0 with a Itsu. This would be like a 5,800 hand. However, our acceptance on the Manzu after cutting 6-7 so is super wide. Yeah, I can't this is a little bit difficult to see it, but I'm pretty sure everything from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so everything from 1 to maybe not 8-man. Is 8-man like an 8-man Penchan? Right, is it even 8-man? So everything from 1 to 9-man is our acceptance at the moment, and I can also pawn Haku, and that will give me a wider weight, and more value, even though it's open and I lose Ricci. So Ricci is 1 Han, but Ahonisu is 2 Han, so with that big of a weight, I'm happy to sort of try to dig for a little bit more value, especially because we need quite a decent jump in value in order to get to second place. But Toyman ends up reaching over here. Toyman ends up reaching, and I draw back my Tenpai over here, waiting on Shampon 7 Sir Haku. So now we're waiting on Itsu with Haku, and Haku is once cut. I don't have any information on 7 so, but Hasu is once cut, which means that if there's 2 Richis, there's a chance that if they draw it, they might cut it. So I end up reaching here. And I do end up winning on Haku over here. And then Ricci into just folding, I believe. This folded into something pretty funny, if I remember correctly. I end up drawing another 5-pin, and I'm Suanko Ishanten. Which is pretty funny, but no, I end up notating at the end. I guess I should probably be covering the push-fold decisions as well. In this scenario, we're just trying to go as quickly as possible because we got a pretty quick hand. We got a pretty fast hand. And then our acceptance right now is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 so. Yeah, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 so our acceptance is actually pretty big to get to Tenpai, so I'm happy to con. But Toyman Richis, and in this case, I'm already pretty much folding because the only way, even if Toyman wins a Mangan of 12k, that's not enough to reach me in the points position. Oh, actually, it might be enough to reach me in the points position. It is like very close to my points. If SBT wins a 12k hand. Which means that even if SBT wins, we still have another Hanchan to go after this, and then I have a shot at getting second, even if SBT wins. However, if I push right now, and then I deal in, then I'm not fighting for second anymore, I'm fighting for fourth. I'm fighting for not last with Wildstar over here, and that's not a situation that you want to be in. So pretty much this is guaranteed fold, but luckily, Wildstar ends up winning the hand, and the round ends over here. Alright, so that was game 1. Well, game 3, but the first game that I will be covering today. Saying this is a 1 hour video already, so I think no, let's go into game 2. There's a lot of fun things that happen in game 2. And I will go to game 2 of the log as well. Okay. Again, pretty straightforward tile efficiency stuff. I won't really go over every tile efficiency discard. So in this scenario, you don't have any safe tiles against dealer. And the 9-so is a very scary push, because 9-so is right next to Dora. But in this scenario where there's no safe tiles that I can really fold on, you just have to accept your fate. If it deals in, it deals in. I can make a very light read of if it was a 7-8-8, he wouldn't have discarded the 8. So if it was Dora, but no, there's so many scenarios where even if it is a Dora pair, you would just be cutting Dora in order to get the round in shape. So that's not really a reliable read to do. There's really nothing. It's just a single Musuji with a little bit extra value added on top of it, because it's right next to Dora if it deals in. But if it deals in, we're not folding on 1-so just because 8-so over here, unfortunately. But yeah, now we know 9-so is safe. And we try our best to fold. And then we're Ishanten on a really wide weight. And I believe I actually cut 7. No, I don't think I cut 7 mon here. What would I cut? 5 mon, 6 mon. I don't know. I actually don't know. Maybe I just cut 3-so. Try to maximize my new weights, pretty much. But yeah, Tenpai for 3-sided weight with Dora 1, so we're just reaching. Don't ask how the point was 8k, even though it was Richidora 1. I've been getting very lucky this league. Anyways, more standard efficiency things. And then, right, so again, most straightforward cut would be 4-so. But in this scenario, I don't really want to... If I'm doing the straightforward discards, quote unquote, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks over here, right? So that means a 4-so discard right now is pretty much implying that the 5-pin, Aka 5-pin discard later on, which I don't want to do. So I believe I will be cutting 2-pin, 1-pin in that order, because if I drop 1-pin and I draw 3-pin, then I'm not taking a 1 4-pin free 10-way, because the 3-pin can be covered by a 3 5-pin. Or I drop 4-so, but I do prefer a 2-pin discard than a 4-pin 4-so the moment I draw 4-pin over here. So Tanyao. I did not see that coming at all. I didn't think 3-so would deal in particularly, or 3-so would deal into a Honitsu in particular. This was a very interesting hand as well, because here I end up getting this Chanta-ish hand. I'm waiting on a 5-so Tanki over here, right? I'm waiting on a 5-so Tanki over here, and then this 1-pin comes out. And here's the deal. If I chi this, I'm going from a Tanki to a Tanki, and yes, I pick up Chanta, but the Chanta is actually useless to me. Because this was already 1, 2, 3 Han with Menifu. Wait, why did I think Chanta was useless? Okay, if I actually do 15 calculation, 3 calculations, this is 16. Okay, 16 plus 8, which is 24. So this is 54. So we do pick up an extra something K, but the bigger reason in game, I thought it was a useless call because I thought it was 4 to 5 So in game, I thought the value didn't actually increase. But the thing that's really good about this Chi 2 3 sir and then cut 5 sir is that right after this one pin came out, if you Chi and then cut 5 sir, there's no way that anyone can read that you're waiting on a 1-pin wait. Even if this looks like a chanter, it doesn't look like a 1-pin wait, because if you did have a 1 2 3 pin, why would you be chiing the 1-pin? It doesn't really make much sense, especially after I cut a 2-pin early on. Having another 1-pin or chi 1 2 3 pin and a 1-pin wait, especially after going around once, this is a very tricky wait. And I thought this had a very high win rate. And then if I don't win immediately off the 1-pin and I draw something even better as a Tanki, the great thing about Tanki weights is that Tanki weights are very flexible. You can change it around at any time. So if I do see a better tile, I can always change it later on. And 1-pin at this point is just Genbetsu to Genbetsu to the Richi, so we're just pushing, full shoving. That is 3 to 4 Han, right? Yeah. So it wasn't actually a useless Han after all. Again, at this stage I wasn't paying full focus in the game. You'll see me, like I already said, that I've made a couple plays that made no sense, and I'm just playing badly. Maybe that's just me playing actually badly. Maybe it was a mistake because I was paying attention, but yes, I do make mistakes quite often, so it is what it is. This 9-man is also very interesting. This 9-man loses a little bit of efficiency after I chi 7-man, because I can chi 7, 8, 9-man into a 6, 6, 7 shape instead of having a full Hanchan. I have a Hanchan pair. However, if I cut 9-pin, so this is the deal. If I had like 5-pin 5-so or something, then I wouldn't have actually cut the 9-man. But because I have a 2-so, 3-so, if I cut 9-man, then a 2-so, then 3-pin, that actually looks like a normal discard order, and it doesn't look like a Honitsu. So I can hide the fact that it's a Manzu Honitsu from a singular loss after I cheat. And there's not even telling that it's a single tile loss after I cheat. Sorry, no, it's a 2-tile acceptance loss after I chi, and there's no even telling that I will get the 7-man chi in the first over like a 6-man pawn or an 8-man pawn. So I thought that was a fair price to pay, so I cut 9-man first, and then 9-man, and I draw the 6-man into this over here, and now this discard pool, right? This discard pool doesn't particularly scream Honitsu, right? This discard pool just seems like a normal progression order of cutting outside in. And that's the great benefit of cutting 9-man here early. And I just found this really funny, where I had a 6-man and the 8-man, and I managed to get both of them, and then the 7-man were indeed just all dead anyways. I just found that exceptionally funny, really. So again, we're waiting on a once cut Haku Hatsutanki, which has great win rate, especially this early on. However, we draw something that is a little bit interesting, which is this 1-man after the Khan. And this 1-man to me was very interesting because now we're waiting on 1 full 5-man wait. However, if you count the number of tiles, 1 5-man is gone. 1 2 3 5-man 1-mans are gone, and 1 2 4-mans are gone. So in fact, I'm only waiting on a singular 1-man, 2 4-mans, and 3 5-mans. So on this, as a 3-sided weight, compared to a normal 3-sided weight, it doesn't actually feel all that much better in terms of win rate. So I think in terms of win rate, a Hatsu, especially in this table, where people fly off their Yakuhai without much thought, I actually do think that because of the Ron rate of the Hatsu, a Hatsu Tanki has a very comparable win rate to a 145 man weight. And I really had a hard time deciding whether or not I wanted to cut 4-man or the Hatsu over here. In higher level rooms, so Tokujo or Jade Room and above, this would be a pretty much a no-brainer Hatsu discard because you'd be relying on sumoing anyways. However, in the situation where I can expect a fairly decent rate of Ron as well, I really wanted to play 4-man. I really want to play 4-man, but again, my thoughts got the better of me. My conventions, I just thought, okay, I need to rely on the sumo rate on 145-man over the Hatsu win rate. So I did end up cutting Hatsu, but trust me, it was very, very... I mean, I don't know. I don't even know why I'm telling you guys this because in most circumstances, Hatsu would be the correct discard. But I think in this table over here, just a 4-man discard here was definitely something that I was considering very, very hard on. And then Hatsu came out immediately after, and I was pretty sad about it. But yeah, we made our choice, and we just gotta live with it. Alright, so nothing too unusual going on yet until that 6-man chi. So this, again, the 6-man chi is something that is quite interesting, but all I see right now is that 9-pin is once cut, and I have 4 Tanyao blocks with 2 really efficient tiles, 7-so and 3-man in my hand. So in this stage where I can get rid of my biggest weakness of 6-9-man weight, because again, this is a very slow hand to win if I go Menzen, because I'm relying on drawing a Kan 3-man, which is a Dora indicator, and I need to self-draw all of this. I'm relying on drawing a 3-man Dora indicator, and even after drawing the 3-man, I'm left with like a 50% chance of a bad weight. Either a 5-man 9-pin Champon or a 4-man Hanchan. And I really don't like that as odds. And to me, if I can chi the 6-man, so the 6-man was the only tile I was going to call, but once I do chi the 6-man, what ends up happening is I have this 5-man pair, and it's basically a Kutsuki 3-man, Kutsuki of 3-man 7-so. Obviously, the 9-sos and the 1-mans are not part of my acceptance anymore now that I called and I'm going for Tanya. But it is like Kutsuki waiting on the 3-man 7-so floater. And now I have double the chances of drawing 3-so because now I can chi the 3-so off my Kamicha as well. And that doubles my chances of nullifying my biggest weakness of the hand. So this kind of 6-man chi is a very aggressive line of chi. I'm not sure what Naga thinks of this. Again, I believe they're going to scream at me. Kagashi almost wants to chi it. It's a 50-50 call for Kagashi. Nishiki obviously would be like, what the fuck are you doing kind of chi. But it is a very aggressive line that you can take, and that is my thought process for taking that line. But if you are taking these kind of lines, you need to be not afraid to be playing at full efficiency over here, and then dropping it later on if it gets dicey. Because the only way you can salvage this hand after making those kind of play is if you go quick. If it doesn't go quickly and things get scary later on, then you need to be very ready to fold later. So now I can even sumo a 4-man now as 4-man pair, and then have draw a 3 for a Mungan. So yeah, you see I've managed to now cheat a 3 so and get rid of my biggest weakness by the virtue of calling, in which I would have never been able to clear off this weakness if I didn't call. Or I would have half the chances of clearing that weakness off from my hand, and this hand would pretty much be dead. Again, so that's what I mean by taking proactive lines. I like to be more proactive in the game. I like to take initiative in the game, and that's why I do these kind of aggressive calls. Because I don't like having dead hands that are going nowhere, and then in the end I just have to fold. That just doesn't suit my personality, it doesn't suit my playstyle, it doesn't suit my identity. So when I did try to play like that, it just didn't work out for me. So this is what I ended up settling on, is adopting this kind of very aggressive, very hyperactive playstyle where I am very much in the game all the time in people's faces. So again, very standard discards. I have Itsu opportunity over here, and I think I get the Itsu Tenpai. Even I'm not crazy enough to call like like call two-man 2-pin or something. I do get the Itsu Tenpai. We're straight reaching this, like obviously. Ramen Tenpai with Itsu Takame is good enough. Three-way Riichi, we don't know where who's gonna win. It's just a coin flip at this point, but I end up winning the 6-pin Takame, so that's very, very lucky of me again. Alright, so I have a Hatsu Nan pair, so again, I'm already thinking I'm gonna pawn this and then cut 9-pin, 7-pin in that order. Yeah, not much happening. This pawn, I believe what's going to happen is after this pawn, I am going to cut 7-pin. And the reason being is this. So this is a very, again, this is a very aggressive pawn and something that... Oh no, I'm not going to cut 7-pin, I'm going to 4-man. Right, I'm going to cut 4-man. And again, this is a very aggressive call and something that not many people do or should do, in fact. People don't do it for good reason. The reason why I do it and my line of thinking is that if I call and then cut 4-man, what's going to end up happening is I have the 7-pin and I'm kind of thinking, yeah, this is an Atsuzuke waiting on Nan. And if I do pawn the last Nan, that's great. That's lovely. And I have a 5-8-so Tenpai. 5-8-so wait. If I don't draw the Nan, or if I don't manage to pawn the Nan, I ask myself, is that an issue? And that's where the 7-pin keep comes into play. Again, this is almost like a Kutsuki wait. I draw 5-8-so, and what's going to end up happening is I cut Nan over here, and I keep the 7-pin as floater. And if I pawn 5-pin, I can get the Tanya after pawning 5-pin. I draw another 5-pin, and I have a 6-7-pin wait, or I draw 6-pin and I have a 5-8-pin wait. So I have all sorts of those weights that I can go for, even if I don't pawn the Nan. And then if I do manage to, and then later on, let's say I don't know what happened in this hand. Right, so exactly what I said might happen, what is happened. I draw 5-pin and I drop Nan, right? But imagine if I got to this stage in the game, if I got to like turn 12 or something, and I didn't draw the 5-pin and I was stuck in the same ship as this, and it was turn 12 and people looked like they were dangerous and they were getting to Tenpai. All that ends up happening is I drop 7-pin and I keep 2 Nan and I just use it as safe tile. Okay, I either Atazuke waiting on Nan, and if it does come out, great, I win. But if it doesn't come out, am I in danger? going into row 3 and having 2 safe tiles, that's not what people think of a dangerous situation usually. Does that make sense? People usually think that they're safe if they have 1 safe tile. I have 2 safe tiles right now that I can use as a folding tile if things get dangerous. Am I in danger just because I'm Cole and I have no Yaku? Not particularly. I still have my ways of folding. I still have like a corridor. I still have a exit plan available to me if things get bad, and I'm always ready to just fold the hand if it comes down to it. And even if I do fold on none, I still have outs to get me back into Tenpai, which is the 5-pin, 6-pin, 7-pin draw. So to me, I actually think that this 5-man pawn doesn't put me in any danger, and it accelerates my hand on something that is really hard to Tenpai on and win on if I didn't pawn the 5-man. As for why I'm cutting 4-man over 7-pin, just because there's 3 5-mans dead, right? So even if I, let's pretend I keep 4-man over here and I cut 7-pin, what am I going to Tenpai on? I can Tenpai on 3-man, waiting on 2 5-man. Oh wait, a lot, like bunch of 2 5-mans are dead already. What about if I Tenpai on 2-man, then all the 3-mans are dead already. This is, even if I Tenpai, it's hard to get Tenpai because all the tiles around the 4-mans are dead. And even if I do get Tenpai, because all the tiles around the 4-man are dead, I'm going to have a very terrible wait with like 4 outs at maximum. So I'll clear 4-man, discard. So yeah, we did end up Tenpaiing, and as you can see, I was always like, even if things do go badly, I'd always be happy folding with 7-pin. So, and then, if I really, really, really need to fold against Kamicha, then I have 2-3-man that I can fold with. Alright, we're nearing the end. This 9-pin is a early Sakigiri decision because I'm holding a lot of value. Okay, like I'm in South 3, I'm in first place, and my second place competitor is in his dealership. My biggest priority is not value. My biggest priority is winning fast, and the only way to win this fast, well, not the only way, but the best way and the quickest way to win fast is to try to double up on Yaku. I'm pawning it and calling. So that's why we cut Haku. We don't care if it's Dora or not, but Toyman said she's going to do the work for us. We're happy with that. We're just full Batoring. So nothing to see here. We're just going to be folding. Ishanten. I make a big mistake here, and that is right here. Wait, no, I'm Tenpai. This was the big mistake, sorry. I shouldn't have cut 8-pin. This is terrible. Wait, I'm Tenpai right now. Oh, I'm Tenpai, but I don't want to be penchaning. Right, I don't want to be winning a 1k, right? Because I'm dealer. So I try to take a good weight Tenpai before I'm gonna Vici or anything. But I believe I make a mistake somewhere. Where was it? There was a really big mistake that I made in South 4. Yeah, I believe it's this. Yeah, I cut 9-pin. I think this was the mistake over here. Wait, hold on. Oh, right, I keep... Okay, no, the mistake was I don't discard the 8-man. Again, this is a Kutsuki Ishanten, right? This is Kutsuki, and I'm waiting on 5 so 6-pin. I'm waiting on 5 so 6-pin. But if you notice, the tiles around the 6-pin is going to all put me in Furiten anyways. And you might think that 8-man loses acceptance over 6-pin, but it doesn't, because the one tile that it loses after the 9-man, right? There's no 10-man, so it loses acceptance on the 10-man. You might think that, but no, it also gains an acceptance on 3-man, because 3-man gives you 3, 4, 5, and a 6, 8-man Hanchan, so this is just as efficient as any other tile. So here I really should have been cutting 9-pin. and getting the non-Furiten Kutsuki weights over the Furiten side on the 9 by keeping 6-pin over here. So I should have got 9-pin. Made a terrible mistake. Just a lack of detail, I think. But yes, I got to Tenpai and I just Dharma'd because obviously in first place I'm not actually... I even kept auto-ron off, and you notice that I cut 5-so because nobody looked like they're in Tenpai yet. And I just wanted to keep the safest tile possible in my hand because I wasn't even going to win. This is like a 1k hand, like Pinfu, maybe Dora. I mean, 9-so's all dead, so it's Dora 1, Pinfu Dora 1, but I'm not going to win it because confirming my plus 15 is bigger than winning another 2.9k. So, and I'm not like securely first place either. So I don't really want to be Renchanting and continuing the Hanchan when I'm in first place already. So the moment that comes out, I'm immediately just folding. So yes, that is my last 2 Hanchans, and that is my thought process going through all of these. So hope this helps. I'll be doing this if people are interested in watching these kind of videos, and this gets a pretty good reception. I'll be doing these for my other games for the rest of the league, I think. But yeah, please give me feedback, and any feedback would be appreciated. But yeah, hopefully this helps out, and if it does, please let me know so that, well, firstly, I'm more motivated in making these, but I do sort of put effort into creating these videos more. So yeah, thanks for watching, and hope it helps you guys improve your gameplay a little.